It's low key, and I say I am Mr. Superfax. Alright, tonight's topic: the narcissist lives in a delusional fantasy. Okay? Now, these are one of these things, these are, as far as narcissism, it is a personality disorder. That means your personality is fucked up. It's not sane. It's not healthy. You need help. You need healing. You need to tap into the source. You need divine intervention, divine assistance. Okay, this is a disorder. That means your spirit is out of order when you meet the requirements of a narcissist. This means that you have a weak spirit. Let's have a real conversation, you know? Now, this is a polarizing personality disorder. Let's have a real conversation. Normally, this shit is a learned behavior. So, when I was growing up, my parents were full-blown narcissists, right? Especially my mom. And it's kind of like a situation where it's like you either become a full-blown narcissist because that's the learned behavior that you were raised by, monkey see, monkey do, or you fucking run and haul ass away from being like that. That's it. There's nothing in between. And, I just give it to the creator that I didn't, just grow into a weak, you know, delusional piece of shit, ungrateful asshole that, just number one enemy is accountability. Let's have a real conversation. These people, narcissists, look at this little ass car. Narcissists live in a fantasy world where the monster that they're running from their entire life is accountability. And that's why as soon as you tell the truth, okay, as soon as you tell the truth to a narcissist, they will do one of these things. They will call you out your name, disrespect you. You right? They'll call you out your name, say whatever disrespectful shit they can, ad hominems, whatever they call it. Or they'll deflect. They'll put the blame on you. So on and so forth. But rarely is it a situation where it's like you hold a narcissist accountable and you say, this is what you did that hurt me, that disrespected me, that made me, that crossed my boundaries. This is something you did to me. And rarely does the person ever fucking say immediately. Maybe a day, 2 days, a week later, they'll say it. But rarely in the moment when it matters. That's what people never talk about, right? Emotional intelligence and, emotional awareness in the moment when it matters. Rarely does the narcissist say, you know what? You're right. I'm wrong. I apologize. It won't happen again, and let me know how I can be better. This is conflict resolution. These are things that we're supposed to be taught. This is a level of maturity we're supposed to evolve into. Let's have a real conversation. But you look around and you look at the fucking parents out here, and the lack of leadership, and let's just have a real conversation. I can understand why it's just a bunch of you look around in the society, it's just a bunch of grown ass children running around. You know what I mean? I just remember when I was growing up, I thought that being an adult, I'm thinking that when you become an adult, it's like things are gonna be different. But I learned that it's nothing different than being in fucking middle school, dealing with these people. It's like, no, it's like, I be looking around, I be interacting with people, man, and I be like, damn, you niggas act the same exact. You just tall ass middle schoolers. I'm like, you just middle schoolers with a full-time job. Like, that's literally no other way I can explain it. I'm going all the way back to 4th grade, 3rd grade, remembering how I interacted with motherfuckers. And it's like the same exact thing. It's the same, like, immature, you know what I mean? It's just super fucking immature, like, levels of interaction, man. It's just fucking weird. You know, and you know, the narcissist is never gonna fucking no matter how much you do for them, no matter how much you pour into the narcissist is never gonna fucking be grateful for that. You know what I mean? The narcissist is never gonna be grateful for that. Right? It's always gonna be, they're always gonna have an attitude of, you know, the entire world is against them. You know, you can stand beside the narcissist in a moment of need, and then they'll still act like nobody loves them or cares about them. They'll throw you under the fucking bus. It's the craziest shit in the world, man. And then they'll turn around and call you crazy. Turn around and call you insane. I grew up, my mom, everything was my fault. You can call it what the fuck you want. I'll call it what it is. Trauma. A fucked up childhood. But ever since the day I can remember, right? My mom would blame me for fucking everything. If I got in trouble at school because somebody else hit me first and then I hit them back, literally defending myself, my mom would come to the school, and even if the fucking principal or whoever told my mom that I was just defending myself, somehow it's still my fault. You know what I mean? Just for example. So I grew up my whole life. You know what I mean? I have a girlfriend. I was a teenager. I had a girlfriend. My mom will fucking disrespect my girlfriend. You know, call her out of her name to my face around, you know, my brother, around other family members. You know what I mean? Just violation. You know, can you imagine, like, you know, falling in love for the very first time with a stranger because your own family never told you, they never taught you what love was. You never learned what love was from your mother or your father or any of your fucking family. Your own family never taught you what love was, so you had to go out into the world and fall in love. You know, a stranger had to teach you what love was, and then these pieces of shit, right? The narcissist mother disrespects the only person in the world that's showing you this feeling for the first time. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been about control. I was raised by an individual that never, I don't genuinely feel like loved me. They just wanted to control me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, a lot of people understand what the fuck I just said, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's a big difference right there, you know what I mean? So I'll never understand that. I'll never understand trying to control somebody. I never understand that. I'll never understand why people think they're qualified to do that. You know, that's something that I've recently had to, you know, hardcore accept that no matter what I do for certain people, they'll never truly appreciate it. They'll never truly be grateful. You know what I'm saying? And they'll never truly want to change. And these are things we just have to accept, no matter how much it hurts. You know what I mean? Um. So yeah. Um. So basically, when you're, in a relationship with a narcissist, basically you're in like a trauma bonding type of situation, because it's not a real relationship. It's not a real relationship because one person is living in reality and the other person is living in a fantasy. You know what I mean? And the one person living in a fantasy is forever the fucking victim. And then the person living in reality always has to, question and second guess themselves, when in reality they're not doing shit wrong. You know, it's just sad when a person is constantly showing up for their partner, but their partner is a fucking narcissist. And genuinely, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's like, what is a narcissist? A narcissist is just a weak ass, a person that's just so weak that they just refuse to confront their own demons and trauma and just do what you're supposed to do, which is heal. However long it takes. That's all really a narcissist is. It's just just a bitter ass, broken, immature spirit. You know what I mean? That's just in denial. you know? It's really not hard. It's really not hard to commit to healing. To say, you know what? I'ma just sit my ass the fuck down and I'ma face my demons or whatever. And I'ma just heal. If it take 1 year, 2 years, fuck. If it take 5 fucking years of you just being by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because what's the alternative? Living your entire fucking life? You know what I'm saying? Living your entire life being a piece of shit to other people, constantly, being an energy vampire and just stealing, um, stealing these things that are priceless, stealing time and energy from people. For what? I personally never understood that, you know what I mean? I don't get it. I can't relate to it. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it's just so crazy because you'll be in a relationship with a narcissist, and then you'll go be with somebody else that's, if you're lucky enough to find a regular person, and and you'll find somebody new, and the new person will treat you like you matter. The new person won't argue with you because when you're dealing with a narcissist, you can't even express how you feel. These are things that's like, it's honestly and I was telling my boy this, like, it's a form of betrayal. Like, just because, like a person cheating on your partner isn't the only form of betrayal. There's emotional betrayal. You know what I'm saying? There's like spiritual betrayal. Let's have a real conversation, man. I told my boy straight up. I said, I'd rather my girl go behind my back and fuck another dude secretly than talk to me crazy, like wild, disrespectful to my face, call me all types of names to my face and shit. Cause at least she would have enough decency to disrespect me behind my back. You know what I'm saying? The noise, look at the campaign, bro. I mean, the campaign is just out of control, dude. You can't make this shit up. But we don't give a fuck. We not worried about that. And I told him, and I meant that shit. because something that matters to me so much in a relationship is fucking decency. It's the understandings, you know what I'm saying? The when you're with somebody and you've been with them for a while, right? And even if you haven't, but it's just like the conversations that don't need to be had when it comes to like decency, you know what I'm saying? You know, and a lot of people won't understand what I'm saying, but the closer you get to God or the creator, the less you need to fucking speak. The more you tap into the source, the less you need to fucking physically talk. A lot of people won't understand what the fuck I'm talking about. But it's like the closer you are with somebody, the less you need to fucking speak to them, because you develop some sort of like telekinesis with them where, you know what I mean? And that's the ultimate goal of a relationship, to where you can actually, you know, I'm not going to say read your partner's mind, but you can feel how your partner feels, you know what I'm saying? Or you can anticipate certain things, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to your partner. And that's the hope, in my opinion. That's where you get into like a healthy energy in a relationship, where it's like you don't have to tell your partner to do shit for them to already do it. Let's have a real conversation. You just get each other, you know, you become like a you know, if it was like, if the relationship is like a, you know, a jigsaw puzzle, you become merged, you know what I mean, like you start to just fit with each other, you know what I'm saying? And that's the type of relationship that I like being in. I don't like being in a fucking relationship where I gotta I'm sorry, I mean any type, platonic, intimate. I don't like being in relationships where I gotta explain to myself and explain every fucking little thing that I'm doing, and you know what I'm saying, why I'm doing it and what I need. I hate that shit. It's just immature, it's juvenile, it's like novice type shit. You know what I mean? I like being in relationships where it's like, you know, the motherfucker I'm with, we invested so much time into each other that it's like we have an understanding. Where it's like our souls, we don't need to talk all the fucking time, or we don't need to talk about certain things, because our souls already acknowledge what the fuck is going on. You understand? See, niggas won't understand. A lot of niggas don't understand that shit. You know what I'm saying? Simple shit like, you know, it's simple shit like this. If I'm talking to a girl and she at work busting her ass and I'm at home, let me go ahead and wash the dishes. I mean, just, you know, physical shit, right? Let me go ahead and wash these dishes so that when she get home, she don't have to see all these dirty ass dishes in the fucking sink. Type shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Type shit like, I mean, that's regular. I mean, it don't get no more regular than that. You know what I mean? But it's like type shit like that. You know what I mean? These are things we shouldn't even have we shouldn't even have to have a conversation about. You know what I mean? When it comes to like a healthy spiritual alliance with each other. Let's have a real conversation, man. I want to have spiritual alliances with with the person that I love. Let's have a real conversation, you know. I want to be, you know, the type of loyalty that I put out into this fucking universe. Like, rarely is it ever reciprocated. Now, I've been lucky. I've been in a few relationships where, you know, the bitch might have had some trash pussy, but she was loyal to the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's like going back to the whole trauma bonding shit, man. It really fucks your head up when it's time, when you want to leave, because it's like, it's just an illusion. A trauma bond is an illusion of a real connection. you know? And then when you leave, it's like your mind and your heart are playing tricks on you, but you're better off, you know? And the trauma bonding is so fucked up because you could get so used to being in a fucked up negative relationship to where the person don't even know how to fucking hear you out when you're trying to express your emotions. That's a I mean, in my opinion, that's like cheating on somebody. That's almost worse than cheating on somebody. It's a form of betrayal. When you sign up to be in a fucking relationship with somebody, this is what a relationship is. You are supposed to be emotionally available for your partner at all times. That is what a partnership is. And if you're gonna sit up there and you dismiss a motherfucker's feelings, or you can't even have a conversation, you can't even be mature enough to have a type of an exchange, you know, conflict resolution, or have an exchange without everything being a fucking argument, you know, everything being the blame game, then it's like you don't deserve to be in a relationship. You know? I think that like we just were born in a fucked up era where it's just like I don't even know how people are in relationships at all anymore. I genuinely don't even know how human beings are in relationships anymore. Everybody that I know is in a relationship where they're settling for the person that they're with, or they're in a toxic relationship, or some sort of abusive relationship, whatever, on whatever level, spiritually, whatever, or they're with somebody that they get along with, but it's not their first choice. It's not the person that they want to be with. I don't know anybody personally. I don't think so. Maybe one person that I can't even think of right now. But I just don't know people that's just in healthy, happy, and real people, not like these fucking NPCs running around. I don't know anybody. I know no one. And I wish I did, because I wouldn't hate on them or nothing like that. But I think psychologically they just socially engineered everybody's minds to just nobody cares about what matters. Nobody cares about what matters anymore. It's rare you find a person that cares about what matters. And what matters? What matters is you. You and the immediate people around you. Everybody, it's just like so many, everybody's so focused on everything going on outside of them. Everybody's so focused about what's going on externally outside of them. Everybody's so fucking worried about shit that's going on in the world that has literal 0% effect on their fucking life. Motherfuckers don't even have hobbies anymore. Have you noticed this? Motherfuckers don't even have hobbies anymore. Like shit that they would actually do instead of being on social media, scrolling and worrying about what everybody else is doing and shit. Motherfuckers used to have personal hobbies. you know? And like talents and creativity. People used to draw, write, fucking paint, sculpt shit, all types of shit, plant shit. I mean, what the fuck? And now everybody just sit around and worry about everybody else. And the older I get, I'm like, bro, this is bullshit. Our lives are being stolen from us. Our own, like, you know, spiritual development is being stolen from us. Niggas used to have hobbies. Now what we do? Go to work and scroll. When we not at work, we scrolling. When we not scrolling, we at work. And then somewhere in between that, when we exhausted from doing that shit, we sleep. Let's have a real conversation. And we'll, you know, when we got a little more energy and some free time, we fuck, right? And then even when we fucking, it's just like, you know, it's not the same like it used to be. It's not the same like it used to be. You know what I mean? You know? So, I don't know, man. You know, I learned that it was never my mission to cure a narcissist or save a narcissist. Never put a cape on. But as an empath, you know what I mean, as somebody that, you know, I see this reality, this fucked up realm for what it is. I feel, you know what I mean? I feel for people that haven't conquered themselves. And I fear for those people. I fear for those people because you will be recycled. You will be recycled. You know? You will be recycled. You will have to go through this all over again. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the campaigns tonight, bro. The campaigns tonight, bro, are out of control. So, yeah. So yeah, you know, when you get out of a relationship with a narcissist, it can really fuck you up. It can really fuck your mind up because you can date a normal, healthy person after that. And you'll be sitting there confused as fuck. You'll be sitting there like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I'm with somebody that actually appreciates me now. I'm with somebody that does everything that I wanted the fucking narcissist to do, and I don't even have to ask them. I'm with somebody that actually loves me. And then you'll be sitting there confused, and you feel like you don't even deserve it because you've been, you know, the whole time you just been like, you've been fucking with a narcissist. You fucking been running on adrenaline. You've been in survival mode. You know what I'm saying? And you don't even realize, you know, you feel it, but you kind of like suppress it. You know what I'm saying? Anxiety is through the fucking roof. But you thinking that you know, like got it under control. But you can't lie to yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't lie to your spirit, man. And the body won't lie also. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of people, when they get out of a relationship with a narcissist, that they're so fucking weak, they try to control you on every level. You know, when you get with somebody that the complete opposite, that's why, you know, damn near liable to sabotage the relationship. You know? Damn near liable to sabotage the relationship. Because you become so used to getting shitted on half the time for no valid reason that just becomes the routine. Just like growing up, if your mother or your father is a narcissist, and you know, it's not about love, it's about control, it's about having power over you. You know, you get stuck in that routine. And then you might inflict that on your children, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, the only cure for a narcissist is they have to, you know, fully, completely submit themselves to the creator, man. That's it. Because I feel like to this earth, the narcissist is just basically the equivalent of cancer. You know, and this world would be such a better place, man, if just all narcissists, that whole energy, that whole frequency was just eradicated. These people really ruin this fucking world, man. They really do. You cannot build shit. You can't have a foundation, nothing, with somebody that refuses to be accountable. With somebody that just refuses to grow the fuck up. It's as simple as that. I mean, you got adults throwing temper tantrums out here. You got adults throwing temper tantrums. Like it's this world is fucked, bro. Society is fucked, and it's only gonna get worse. Anyway, so it's sad because underneath, like me personally, I see through the bullshit, and I feel it too. And whether it be my mother, my father, relationships I've been in, I see through that person's barriers. I see through their weaknesses. I see through their trauma. And I'm like, you at your core, you just a weak, immature spirit. I see it. I see it. I feel it. I'm like, you're just a weak, immature spirit. And you know, like you really craving unconditional love, but you don't know how to accept it. And that's just how I fucking, you know, I might be completely wrong, you know? But, you know, I remember being young, and whenever my mom was on some bullshit, I could see right through her. And I'd be like, you just a weak little girl. That's why you treating me this way. You just a weak, you know, can you imagine being a child and having the spiritual awareness to look through your mother and be and just overstand, oh, you're just a weak little girl. You're not even spiritually equipped to raise a child. You know what I'm saying? These are things that, you know, And then it's like, who do you have these conversations with? You know what I'm saying? As a child, who do you have these conversations with? It's insane, man. It's crazy. you know. So a lot of these people, man, the reason why I want to get mad too. I want to lash out. I want to be just as ignorant as these people, but I can't because I see right through them. And it's just sad. Because like I said, the narcissists at their core, they really just crave unconditional love. We all want the same shit. But they have a spiritual disorder. Let's say fuck a personality disorder. They have a spiritual disorder. They shit not aligned. They shit not aligned. They spirit out of line. Your soul is out of pocket, bitch. And the only way to align your spirit is you have to submit your soul to the creator, man. I don't know how, you know what I'm saying? I don't know any other way to explain it. You have to humble your soul and submit your spirit to the creator. And you have to allow for divine assistance to level you up. That's it. I'm sorry. I don't know any other way to explain it. You have to let go to level up. You ain't in control. And that's the narcissist. The narcissist always want to be in control. Always gotta have this illusion of power. Always obsessed with their image opposed to reality. How do I look? But the ironic thing is, the narcissist honestly doesn't even fucking know how to self-perceive. Doesn't even know how they look amongst other people looking at them. How many fucking managers and bosses I had at these raggedy ass jobs that these motherfuckers thought they was like, top flight manager of the year type shit, but in reality, everybody hated them because they were pieces of shit. But in their mind, they think they're doing a hell of a job, a stand-up job. You know what I mean? It's one of the it's one of the best gifts the creator can gift wrap you is the ability to self-perceive, man. I'm so tapped in to like being able to perceive myself, even when and it's always been like this my whole life. Even when I get drunk. See, when you get drunk, the first thing you do is you forget, you don't even pay attention to how you look around other people. That's the first thing that happens. As soon as you get drunk, you're like, I don't give a fuck. Right? But even when I drink, like from the first drink I ever had in my life, I could never lose that. Even when I be shit-faced drunk, I always knew exactly how I looked amongst everybody else. I couldn't just let go. You know how some people get drunk and they just lose control? You like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Niggas be sloppy, falling all over the place, slurring their words, talking shit. You be like, oh, this motherfucker, they can no longer perceive themselves. And the consequences that come with that. Me, I could get blackout drunk and still be aware exactly of not only what I'm doing, but how people is, you know what I'm saying, perceiving what I'm doing. It's crazy. It's like I cannot get rid of that. I can't shake that shit. So, you know, at the end of the day, the harsh reality is, you know, no matter what you do, you cannot, you know, change the narcissist. The narcissist is gonna do whatever the fuck they want to do. You know, that's their whole thing. You know, that's their whole delusion, their fantasy that they live in, where they think that it matters. They think that that mentality gives them power. When in reality, it's just an immature, childish mentality where they feel like, you know, I'm gonna do whatever I want. No, you can't. You can't. You can't though, because if you really were doing what you wanted to do, you wouldn't be in the situation that you in. Let's have a real conversation. You can only do whatever the options are that you have. Okay, if I'm doing what I want to do, I'd be butt ass naked on a fucking island somewhere. Okay, with a harem full of bad hoes that don't speak English. If I was doing what I want to do, let's have a real conversation. You know what I mean? You motherfuckers be doing what your options allow you to do. Let's have a real conversation. So to wrap this video up, because it's past my bedtime. I go to bed at 10 o'clock. To wrap this video up, motherfuckers just, you know, a lot of people just deserve better, man. A lot of people really just deserve better. Um, but the truth is, most people will settle. Most people will never truly value themselves. Most people will never learn how to love themselves. And most people will, you know, settle for a relationship that's rooted in a trauma bond opposed to real love. Let's have a real conversation. So. I'm glad to get up out of here. It's low key, and I say I am. You know who I am. I think for me, the part that hurts the most is just the betrayal. You know, because when you really realize all we have is time, you know, our time and our energy. When you realize that's all we fucking have, and it's so precious, and you purposely you purposefully devote your time and energy, you know, to an individual and they're just not grateful of it. I think that's just like, I just genuinely feel like that's you know, that's worse than cheating. I feel like shit. Shit might be worse than murder, man. You know what I mean? A motherfucker that's ungrateful of your time and energy. Yeah. I think that's up there with murder. So that's my opinion tonight on Narcissist. Hopefully they, you know, They tap into the creator and submit their souls and spirits so that they can heal, man. Let's have a real conversation.